Assalamualaikum and hi everyone. We are from group 3 and in this video we will be presenting to you about the rationalism. First of all, I will start with the concept and historical development of rationalism. So what does it mean by rationalism? Rationalism is a philosophical concept that emphasizes the power of reason or logic in acquiring the knowledge and understanding the world. In Western philosophy, the view that regards reason as the chief source and test of knowledge. The roots of rationalism can be traced back to ancient Greece, where philosophers such as Socrates, Plato, and Aristotle emphasized the power of reason and rational inquiry in understanding the world. These philosophers developed a rigorous system of logic and metaphysics that laid the groundwork for later rationalist thinkers. It reached its peak during the Enlightenment period of 17th and 18th centuries in Europe. For example, rationalists of the 17th and 18th centuries such as Descartes, Spinoza, Leibniz, and Wolff are some of the most prominent representatives of rationalism. These rationalists believe that certain truths can be known by reason alone without relying on empirical observation or subjective feelings. So, this distinguishes rationalism from other approaches like empiricism, which give more emphasis to sense data. Overall, the concept of rationalism has a long and varied history, dating back to ancient Greece and continuing to influence philosophical thought today. Now, I will pass the next point, which is factor that leads to development of rationalism to Brother Zharif.
Hello guys, so today, the developments of rationalism can be attributed to a number of factors including historical, culture, and intellectual influences. So, we will explore some of key factors that contributed to the rise of rationalism. One of the earliest factors that contributed to this development of rationalism was the ancient Greek traditions of philosophy. Greek philosophers such as Plato and Aristotle emphasized the use of the reasons and the logic to understand the world, to develop theories about the natures of reality. This tradition of philosophical inquiry laid the foundations of the rationalist approach the world emerged later. Next, another key factor in developments of rationalism was the Renaissance, a period of greater culture and intellectual awakening took place in Europe from the 19th to 17th century. During this time, scholars and thinkers were inspired by the classical Greek and Roman texts that has been rediscovered, and they began to explore new ideas and approaches to understanding the world. The Renaissance was marked by a renewed emphasis on reasons and empirical observations and critical thinking, which laid the groundwork for the scientific revolutions that would follow. The scientific revolution of 7th century was another important factor in the development of rationalism. This period saw the emergence of a modern science, with thinkers such as Galileo, Kepler, and Newton making groundbreaking discoveries about the natural world through the use of reason and empirical observations. The scientific methods on this time, which emphasized the use of experimentations and logical deductions to develop theories and test hypotheses, become a hallmark of the rationalism's approach. The last one is finally, the Enlightenment of the 19th century was a period of intellectual and the culture movement that further advanced the cause of the revelations. So Enlightenment and thinkers such as Voltaire, Rousseau, and Kant championed the reason, individual freedoms, and progress, and they would sought to the reason to challenge traditional authority to improve society. The Enlightenment was marked by a renewed emphasis on the scientific inquiry, critical thinking, and skepticism, which laid the ground for many of intellectual developments for the modern era.
And as for now, I will continue with the characteristics and the principal beliefs of the rationalism. So without further ado, let's go. So, the first characteristics of rationalism is skepticism.
Rationalism emphasizes skepticism as the key characteristics. It is because it encourages individuals to question assumptions, beliefs, and ideas in order to arrive at a more accurate understanding of the reality. The second characteristic is deductive reasoning. Deductive reasoning is another important characteristic of rationalism, as it involves starting with a general principle or theory and using logical deduction to arrive at specific conclusions or predictions. And last but not least is the clarity. Rationalism places a high value on clarity and precision in language and thought. It seeks to eliminate ambiguity and confusion in order to arrive at a more accurate understanding of reality. Let's move on to the principles and beliefs of rationalism. So the first principle is reason. Rationalism is founded on the principle that reason is the best means of understanding the world. It holds that reason can be used to solve problems, make decisions, and arrive at truth. Second principle is universalism. Rationalism also emphasizes the principle of universalism. It holds that rational principles and truths are universals and that this ideology can be applied to all people and cultures. Thirdly, progress. Rationalism is a progressive ideology that emphasizes the importance of human progress through the application of reasons and science. It holds that by using reason and critical thinking, humans can actually improve their lives and their understanding of the world. And last but not least is freedom. Rationalism also emphasizes the principle of freedom. It holds that individuals should be free to think, speak, and act according to their own reasons and conscience without interference from any other external organization or authorities. So, in conclusion, rationalism is an ideology that is characterized and based on principles such as skepticism, deductive reasoning, and clarity, as well as the principles of reason, universalism, freedom, and progress. These characteristics and principles have had a profound impact on the philosophy, science, and society, and may continue to influence our understanding of the world today. So I think that's all from me for the characteristics and the principal beliefs of rationalism.
Rationalism is a philosophical movement that emphasizes the role of reason in obtaining knowledge and understanding the world. Its impacts have been significant in various areas of human life, including science, politics, and religion. In science, rationalism has led to the development of empirical methods of inquiry and the use of logical deduction to explain natural phenomena. It has helped scientists to make progress in fields such as physics, chemistry, and biology, leading to significant advancement in human knowledge and technology. In politics, rationalism has influenced the development of democratic principles and the concept of individual rights. It has played a significant role in the establishment of modern constitutional government and the promotion of civil liberties. In religion, rationalism has led to rejection of traditional dogmas or traditional religion or beliefs and the emphasis on personal experience and reason in religious belief. It has contributed to the rise of secularism and decline of religious authority in many societies. Overall, the impact on rationalism has been profound, shaping our understanding of the world, our approach to scientific inquiry, on our political systems, and our religious belief.
So I will continue by presenting the strengths and the shortcomings of rationalism ideology based on the perspective of Islam. I will start with the strengths of this ideology. First of all, the strength of this ideology is that it put a high emphasis on logic and reason. This is similar in Islam, where both logic and reason are highly valued. Even in the Quranic text, it encourages us to use logic and reason in our life. These are further supported because the previous scholars or Islamic scholars emphasize on the use of critical thinking and rational inquiry in understanding the religious texts such as the Quran and the Sunnah. My second point is that through rationalism, there also have been a lot of scientific advancement that have changed the way of human live our life and it has benefited the humanity in a lot of ways. It is also known in the Islamic civilization history that a lot of Muslim scholars also contributed a lot in the technological and scientific advancement in this world. I will continue regarding the shortcomings of this ideology. So, first of all, rationalism can promote secular worldview, which put emphasis on materialism and individualism. Both of these are against Islamic teachings, which promotes spirituality, community, and social responsibility. The next shortcoming of this ideology is that there are limitations to reasonings. Rationalist assumes that reasoning alone is enough to understand the full concept of reality, but this is not fully true because there are some aspects of reality that cannot be understood through reason alone, such as spiritual experience.
Hey guys, you know what? I want to bring in some discussions for today. I was like so blank. Have you have any ideas about the differences between rationalisms in Islam ideologies and also Western ideologies?
I think Western rationalism is about interpretation or empirical evidence and logical reasoning, which is associated with religion, based on religious text and interpretation.
Oh yeah.
I agree with that because in Western too, rationalism is often associated with, the skepticism, and they reject the dogma.
2 seconds later.
Oh, that's mean. Whereas in Islamic thought, a rationalist is seen as a means to understand and interpret religious principles.
Yes.
Hey bro.
Assalamualaikum. How are you? Sorry, but can I interrupt?
Yeah, sure.
But isn't it possible to interpret both perspectives, which is to use the empirical evidence and logical reasoning to interpret religious texts?
I think that's a very good point, but we should be careful to not confuse between religious interpretation and scientific facts because both are very different and they both serve different purposes.
Oh, that's a great point, bro. I think the key thing is to recognize the strengths and limitations of both perspectives and to be learning from each other.
Absolutely, brother. I think we should continue to learn from each other's opinions and appreciate that we all have different thoughts about this matter.
Bro, can you give some examples about our topic, which is a Charles Darwin theory about a human being?
Oh, okay, it's okay. I'll share you about Charles Darwin's theory. So his theory was about human evolution from the beginning, which was coming from apes. So apes to human, but it is not true.
Yeah, that makes sense though. I can see our similarities with the animals, like we have, like both of us have eyes, we have mouth, we have nose. Like 99% all of them are the same. But does anyone know what does Islam says about human?
For me, brother, I think I completely disregard regarding the Charles Darwin theory because it is completely opposite with what is shown in Islam. It is in Surah Al-Hajj, verses number 5, that we were created by Allah from dust and then from sperm and then...
Bro, do you think the Quran is telling the truth and it exists? Can you believe it?
That's a very good question. Have you heard about the story of Prophet Lut alayhi salam and punishment upon people of Lut? Prophet Lut is a prophet who lives before the prophet of Muhammad, Prophet Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam. There is a story about that in the Quran, in the Surah Hud, verse 82.
Yeah, if I'm not mistaken, there's a story about the people who is grown drowned by the sea. Like for example in Surah Al-Anbiya verse 74 until verse 75. But I think it is honestly already obviously been proven by the scientific research and also by the Quran. I think we also should be mindful of the historical and cultural context that have shaped these different perspectives on rationalism.
Yes, and we should strive to have a respectful and productive conversations, even when we disagree to something, right?
Yes.
Yeah, I agree, because it is important approach this kind of discussion with an open mind and into willingness to listen and learn from each other.